Hi garden friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Era and this is Gardening on Purpose. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I garden in Georgia, Zone 8A, where I do gardening related videos. It's the middle of July. I'm at Home Depot checking out their newest plant inventory. First up, they have the purple fountain grass. Love this guy. Great for container, great for a centerpiece in one of your planters. These guys are going to be $24.98. This is the Vigoro brand. Right next to that one, they have a rudbeckia. This particular one here is the Sunbeckia Mia, $24.98. They also have the false dragon head. This particular one here is the Crystal Peak White. I have this one in my yard, and this one here I had gotten at another store, and the reason I had gotten it was because it was covered in bees, guys. This beauty here, I have it in a container because it does kind of spread a little bit too fast for my taste. $16.98. It is a part sun plant. This is what the flowers look like. They have a lot of these in a 1.5 gallon. Next up, we have zebra grass. Zebrina, $16.98, guys. This is a perennial grass that requires full sun. It does have, if I come in close, it does have a little bit of a tinge to show you that it looks like a zebra. Right next to that one, we have pampas grass. This is also going to be $16.98 and requires full sun. Right, so they have a new shipment of the coneflowers. This is the Vigoro brand right here. They have things like the Artisan series, the soft orange. They have the Artisan series red ombre, and they have, I believe they have another variety here. Let's see. They have the, yes, they have the Sunseekers red here as well. This is what they're looking like. These are the colors. It's really nice pink right here. And then if I back up a little bit, you can see this beauty here. Nice. These are all going to be $9.98 in a 2-quart. Also have a new stock of the Endless Summer Hydrangea. This particular one here is the Bloomstruck, which I love. Now I have mine in the ground and they give me a purple hue. If you want it to be of a more pinker hue, you can definitely adjust your soil, but this is exactly what mine looks like in the garden. One of my favorite hydrangeas because it comes back reliably for me, and it is, I have mine in pretty much part shade to shade because I'm in Georgia and the heat is just too much. They do burn really, really fast. Even though they say part sun, I think part sun for me personally is a bit too much. But I'm a big fan of the Bloomstruck hydrangea by the folks at Endless Summer. Also available is the Pop Star, also from the folks at Endless Summer. Love this guy. This one is a little bit smaller than the Bloomstruck, and I do have it in my yard. This one here is more of a lace cap, which means it has a little bit more flatter blooms, and the pollinators can land more easily on it. Love this guy. Also is able to be manipulated by the soil, but mine does come out purple in my clay soil. Looking really nice. These are all going to be, including the Bloomstruck, $29.98. Also have another variety of tickseed or coreopsis, one of my favorite perennials because it blooms long. Like it'll start in the spring and it'll bloom all the way down to our frost. Now this particular one here has some very small flower heads, but they are pretty, and they bring in the hummingbirds, the butterflies, and the bees. This particular one here is the Paradiso, they're saying, Paradiso tickseed, and they have it in a 2.5 quart by the folks from Vigoro. All right, they also have a different type of coneflower. This one is the Double Scoop Strawberry Deluxe, guys. $24.98. That's what it looks like for the tag. And really nice flower heads for this particular variety. I have a version of this in my mailbox garden in the blazing sun, and it's doing absolutely amazing. Just brought in a new shipment of dianthus as well. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm not the biggest fan of dianthus, but I can't deny the fact that they are resilient and they have these beautiful pink and red and white flowers. This particular one here is the Mad Magenta, and this is what it looks like. $7.98 in the black pot here at Home Depot. One of the very first perennials that I had put in my garden when I decided I was going to turn my backyard into a full-fledged garden was actually the coneflower. And this particular variety here, the Powwow Wildberry, really, really reliable in my garden, guys. I love it. I have the pink and, well, the wildberry, and I do have the white. They just do absolutely amazing. These are here at Home Depot for $7.98 in the black pot. Let me know if you have these guys and how they do in your garden. You can never go wrong with stonecrop, guys. You know, it's one of my favorite types of plants. You guys know I love autumn joy. This particular one here is the Spectacular. $7.98, guys. I love any type of sedum. It's a full sun plant. It comes back reliably as a perennial for me. Remember, it doesn't like to be watered too much, and it requires absolute full blazing sun for it to be healthy and have strong stems. Still have a lot of daylilies. I don't know if these are new or these were from whenever, but I definitely want to point these out. You guys know I love daylilies. This particular one here is the Prairie Wildfire, and let me get a better picture of it so you can see. Well, they have different types. Okay, it's not just the Prairie Wildfire. So, for example, they have the Cosmopolitan, and in the front, and then of course they have the Prairie Wildfire here. And then back here, we have the typical Stella d'Oro. All of these are going to be $7.98 here at my Home Depot. Love caladiums. They have all types of caladiums. These are not new, but it does look like they do have a refreshed shipment because they can't be the same ones I saw. These are from the folks at Proven Winners for $14.98. And along with the caladiums, they have stuff like the purslane, Mexican heather. They have the polka dot plant. Of course, you guys know they'll always have the creeping Jenny, which you guys know is not really an annual. Does stay semi-evergreen for me in my Georgia garden. Love these guys. And of course, one of my favorite annuals over here is the beautiful coleus, which when it gets cold, I do propagate and bring into the house. Have the beautiful flowering ginger. Now, I like these guys, except for the fact that they're an annual. Now, I was actually here not too long ago with my brother-in-law, and we were talking about this plant, and a lady kind of said, well, hers come back every year if she puts it in the garage and brings it back out next year. I've never put mine in the garage, but maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll try to do that and see. Let me know what your experience is with flowering ginger. $12.98, guys. So they do have this really nice pink, and then they have one that's more of a peachy color, peachy and white right here. They're all going to be $12.98, and then they have the one that is a full-fledged white all the way down here. Really, really, really pretty. The years when I used to buy them, I used to put them as the centerpiece in my container, and then I'll just let the thing die. But now that the lady said that maybe it can come back, I'll give it a go. Never have a shortage of the beautiful encore azaleas, guys. Now, what I do notice, they don't have a lot of varieties, but they do have the autumn royalty. I see a lot of autumn royalties, and I have autumn royalty in my garden, and it does absolutely amazing. These are going to be $24.98 for a 2-gallon. Their boxwood looks really, really nice, guys. They have the better boxwood, and they also just have the typical boxwoods. The better boxwoods are the ones that are marketed as being a little bit more disease resistant. This one is the Skylight for $24.98. And in the black pot, you're going to find the typical one right here, boxwood wintergreen, which I have in my garden, and I really, really like. This particular one here is going to be $21.98. Some new fruit trees. So they have a lot of lemons and limes. That's gonna be, let's just see what the price is gonna be here. I believe it's $24.98. Let me just double check. No, it's actually $19.98 for these lemons right here, as are the limes. But they do have a huge lime tree here from the folks at Beckel and Sons for a whole $99. I do see a lime right there. And then further over, they have other containers here with the Miho Satsuma. Looks like some sort of a citrus right here for $74.98, right? And then they have the pumpkin mandarin, also $74.98. Keeping it moving, guys. It look like I have a lime tree here, but not with a fancy pot, which means it's going to be $54.98. Looking really nice and healthy. Growing season is very long. I can plant and harvest up until early November because of our climate. And the Home Depot still has a lot of plants you can still get. Okra likes the heat. I plant my okra plants by seed, and I am harvesting okra. But if you don't plant by seed and you are looking for, an established plant so you can get to your okras faster, they do have the green fingers here for $19.98. They have lemongrass for $22.98 if you're looking for something to make teas or to put in your drinks, right? This is from the Bonnie folks from Bonnie. And then they have the citronella mosquito plant. For me personally, it doesn't work, but if it does for you, they have it here at Home Depot. Then they also have a lot of tomatoes, all types of tomatoes, black cherry. They have the husky cherry red, all kinds of it. And then they also have a lot of peppers as well. These are all going to be $4.98 for a single pot. More of tomatoes right here, improved tomatoes, the big beef, the beefsteak, they have them all, guys. Also, they have eggplant. I have eggplant as well. Mine are beginning to flower, which means eggplants are behind soon. And they are doing great in my garden. I planted from seed. Surprised that I don't have any rosemaries in my garden, but they have them here in Home Depot for $10.98 in the faux terracotta pot, and they also have them and the Berkey hanging basket for $16.98. If you like candle lilies, they have them here as well. This is the Canova Bronze Scarlet, which is a beauty. Love things that have dark foliage, and then they have the bright flowers. And looks like a bee stayed over last night. He is having a nice time here at the Canna Lily. Now these guys here, I bought them years ago, and they spread pretty easily, so I don't have to buy them anymore. Got a new shipment of the Sunshine Ligustrum, one of my favorite evergreen shrubs because they do absolutely amazing. They have this really nice greeny yellow color. The hotter it gets, the yellower it gets. These guys are going to be $24.98. If you like Abelia, they do have the Kaleidoscope, and they also have the Radiance, both from the folks at Southern Living Plant Collection. I have both of these in my garden, and they do absolutely amazing. They are evergreen to semi-evergreen for me, depending on how bad the winter is, and they bring in the pollinators, guys. My blue chiffon Rose of Sharon is in full bloom and looks just like this in my garden. You guys know I'm a fan, but I struggled with them the first year, and we are in year 3, and they're doing absolutely amazing. I have the pink chiffon, blue chiffon, and I also have the sugar tip. And I didn't realize that they brought in the pollinators that much, but the bees really, really love them. What I like about the Rose of Sharon is that when they're happy, they bud up a lot. So you will get a really nice full blooming shrub in your garden. This is from the folks at Proven Winners, and it's going to be $29.98 here at Home Depot. It's hot, so you're going to be seeing hibiscus. You're going to see the perennial, but you're also going to see the tropical one, the one that does not come back if you don't protect it from the cold come November. These guys here are going to be $19.98, and they have, well, they're not in bloom right now, but they are budded up, and the colors are going to be orange, red, and yellow. Look at this beautiful Florida sunset plant. Black flamingo. This is really, really nice. I love it. Too bad it's an annual because I definitely would like to put something like this in my garden, guys. It is $13.98, and I figure that's because it is in a nicer purple pot. and they have a lot of those. They also have the sun patience, which you guys know I love. They have this really nice deep mauvey purple, and they have the white, and then they have the typical begonia as well. These guys, they're saying 7.98 in the 1 gallon big begonia. I don't see those. I only see the ones that are in the 2 quart. And again, these are really, really great. Do really, really well in a container or in a hanging basket. So they have this really, really nice red one here. And then they have this really, really nice pink one here and a really, really nice white. Then they have the smaller versions of the sun patience, right? So they have this nice white, this really nice mauvey pink. You know what I noticed, guys? I haven't seen a lot of zinnias and vincas. Now I'm about to show you some zinnias right here for $9.98. But I remember the days when you go to Home Depot and there was a lot of zinnias. But those that I just showed you, those are actually in a set for $9.98 right there. And then they have just a little bit of vincas, but I'm definitely going to step outside again to see if I see any more. They do have vincas. They have the pink and they have the red. These are going to be $24.98 for a 12 pack. If you like lantanas, they don't have the perennial ones, but lantanas are pretty and resilient no matter if it's annual or perennial. These are going to be $7.98 in the Vigoro container. Same thing with the Mexican heather, which I absolutely adore. Another one that I wish was a perennial because it does so well in my garden. Seen these all before. These are pretty much a whole bunch of crepe myrtle trees. They seem to have a lot of different types of crepe myrtles that you've seen in the early July video. Check that out if you're looking for the exact varieties. And those are going to be in a 2 or a 3 gallon for somewhere between $32 and $50, depending on the size and the brand. So they do have the Southern Living, they have the First Editions, Black Diamond, and they have the regular black pot. Check out your Home Depot if you're looking for any beautiful crepe myrtles. They have whites and pinks and reds looking really, really nice. There are some zinnias here. They have them in a bigger pot though. So they're trying to charge you $29.98, which is pretty much $30 for an annual. Now the good thing about zinnias is that yes, they're pretty, but you can also collect the seeds. So even though it seems like a lot, you can definitely collect seeds and plant next year. As usual, zinnias are loved by the bees right there. They have the orange and pink and yellow in that big pot for $29.98. Same thing with this guy here, the marigold. You guys, I'm a big fan of marigold. I would never buy them this big, and they do reseed, and they'll come back, maybe, if the seed is protected for the next season. But this is what they're looking like, and they have a mix of the yellow and the orange. They say this is really great for if you have mosquitoes and stuff, but you'd have to have a lot to actually impact the amount of mosquitoes I have in my backyard. But again, $29.98 here at Home Depot. All right, guys, that is pretty much it. Not much to report in the middle of July, but please check back in August and see what they have at my Home Depot. Please like, please share, and please subscribe. Remember to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted in all my new videos. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.